So I remember covering it at the time. It would have been, well, apparently 2022, 23, somewhere around about then. And it was about a 92-year-old amputee who, remember, also had, I think it was Alzheimer's. Yeah. Let me read you some of this. So, 2 police officers who tasered and pepper sprayed a 92-year-old amputee in a care home have been found not guilty of assault. So, PC Stephen Smith and PC Rachel Komoto were both cleared of charges relating to Donald Burgess, a single-leg amputee and a wheelchair user, after he was restrained, honestly, when you look at the video, at Parkbeck Care Home in St Leonards-on-Sea, East Sussex. The jury at Southwark Crown Court returned a verdict of not guilty to the charges of assault, occasioning actual bodily harm, just 2 hours after being sent out for deliberations by a judge earlier today. So PC Smith had been cleared of 2 charges relating to the discharge of pava spray and a baton, while PC Komoto was cleared of a charge related to discharging her taser. After the verdict, the Independent Office for Police Conduct said both officers would face gross misconduct proceedings for potential breaches of the police standards of professional behaviour relating to the use of force and authority, respect and courtesy. So PC Komoto will also face a further misconduct allegation relating to comments she made on social media referring to the incident, while Donald's family added that they were disappointed and saddened by the verdict after an incredibly distressing 3 years. So the care home had called 999 after Mr. Burgess reportedly grabbed a knife he was given to cut his food and threatened to stab staff before poking one employee in the stomach with it. After the incident, Mr. Burgess was taken to hospital and contracted COVID, that old chestnut, dying 22 days later on July the 13th at the age of 93. So, his family added, the verdict adds to our sense of injustice regarding the callous manner in which Donald, a 92-year-old amputee in a wheelchair, was treated by PC Smith and PC Komoto in their brief but life-changing interaction. From the beginning, we have engaged in these legal proceedings in the hope that lessons would be learned and that the violent actions of these officers would not be repeated against any other vulnerable civilians. We will continue to work towards our aim. We hope the coroner will resume the inquest into Donald's death. So the court previously heard that this was out of character for Mr. Burgess, whose movements with the knife were described by Deputy Care Home Manager Donna Gardner as extremely quick. The reason for his behaviour that day, we now know, is that he was delirious as a result of a urinary tract infection. Judge Christopher, told jurors. Once officers arrived, PC Smith sprayed synthetic pava pepper spray into Mr. Burgess's face and used his baton to try and knock the knife out of Mr. Burgess's hand, with PC Komoto deploying her taser. It was alleged that PC Smith had emptied almost an entire full canister of the pava spray in Mr. Burgess's face, a claim he denied. All these actions took place within 83 seconds of the pair entering the wheelchair-bound pensioner's room, which I would have argued is key. So body cam footage of the incident showed how at one point Mr. Burgess told officers, "I'm dying." He was then handcuffed in his wheelchair and taken outside. Later, another officer outside the care home asked if Mr. Smith had used a Smithy special. Smith responded by describing the incident as a standoff. Even after spraying, he clutched onto it, the knife, to the point where I was going to knock it out of his hands, he said. Just a standoff with him. Gave him all the options. Now, I mean, fuck me. This guy, somewhere I'm sure I read that he had something along the lines of Alzheimer's, and you could go into the reasons why. But he's 93. 92. They say 92 and he died at 93. But, 22 days later, he's a 93-year-old, 92-year-old amputee with a knife. A knife. It wasn't like a big bread knife. It wasn't whatever else. I'm guessing that he didn't have a big steak knife. Yeah. And I spoke to, at the time, people that I know in care homes, and I said, how would you have dealt with that? And, honestly, pretty much most of them said, we would have thrown a duvet over him, Scott. Just a duvet. After all, he's 92. And then people could say, hey, look, Scott, this guy, he could have been a killer at 92. Honestly, I just wonder where common sense has got to. Seriously, let me just, under fair use, remember it's YouTube, and you can see a lot of horrible things on YouTube, but hey, as long as it's going along with the narrative. But under fair use, let me play you this. I'll repeat. I mean, the people I've spoke to who've worked in care homes, what they were saying, and I actually, funnily enough, thought the same. Anybody got a duvet? Anybody, just throw it over the guy. I mean, he's in a wheelchair with an amputee in a wheelchair at 92. What the hell's he going to do? But people could say, hey, look, Scott, health and safety. You never know, this guy could be like a ninja. Well, tell me something. Why in the hell has cops not got something, that they could just throw over people? Leaded weight, whatever else, something Kevlar based that they could just throw over the guy. He's 92. No, fuck that. Let's spray him with some artificial chemicals. And sorry. Seriously, all this pish. By the way, most common sense, and I mean, look, I haven't been in the industry for years, and even then it was a short period of time. But most door stewards I knew by default had a staff vest on. I'm assuming that cops do, and if they don't, well, why? So you've sprayed this guy with, Then the next thing they bring out a baton. And by the way, these can cause quite a bit of pain. Seriously, these things. Yeah? The guy's 92. Why didn't you just smack his hand then? They hit him with a fucking taser at 92. Seriously. I don't give a flying fuck. Look, I do. I would expect if these the police conduct authority or whatever, if they have any ounce of common sense, these people should not be in that job. Sorry, but no, seriously. And if we are going to say again, no, look, health and safety. Let me give you an example from 2012. I don't know what I'm going to call this, but you know what? This lack of common sense that used to be in most people. Let me read you some of this. A man who drowned in 3 feet of water in a boating lake might have been saved if fire crews had not refused to enter the water, an inquest heard yesterday. Firefighters were just 20 feet from epilepsy sufferer Simon Burgess, 41, but told onlooker Gillian Hughes they could not go in for health and safety reasons and had to wait for a specially trained water rescue unit. Think about this. 3 foot of fucking water in a fucking paddling pond. No, sorry. We're going to have to wait for the right people with the right fucking skills. Seriously. What am I really saying here? You know what's the most obvious thing that we're losing by the day? The lack of people with an ounce of common sense, character, and a soul. Yeah? And I'll speak to you soon.